This year's anime. Some love it, some hate it, and no matter where you are on the spectrum, just know there's always worse. We're not like other years. We don't have another AOT or Frieren or Gintama. It's just not the same, and you better believe this tier list will reflect that. But before I get into it, I have 3 rules. Number 1, popularity. I'm not rating anything with less than 1,000 people interested. Point is, it's just not worth rating a show that no one watches. Number 2, I'm not rating movies. Anime movies take roughly a year to release outside of Japan for free. Given that, and given I'm not rushing to movie theaters anytime soon, I'll just have to leave this one blank. Number 3, guessing. For the pioneers in this video, you might see it's not 2025, and because of that, I'll have to make a few predictions when it comes to fall shows. I know, I'm sacrificing bad takes, but that's what it means to do something early. Starting with the winter season, we've got Villainess level 99, which I and most others wrote off as just another Villainess series. And to that I say, you're kind of right. There are a lot of generic tropes, but the main girl, in short, does a lot to keep the show afloat. Rarely I say this, but it was a somewhat funny series. C tier. A Sign of Affection. Similar to A Silent Voice, but with a little more fluff. The show animates sign language, has a lot of shoujo themes, and overall doesn't have too much romantic progression. Its first few episodes do most of the heavy lifting, and whether Aoshi should have been with Yuki is past my pay grade and certainly debatable. I'm still going A tier. Sasaki and Peeps. Genuinely just comedy and fantasy, genuinely just a waste of time, but it has another season. Then again, pretty much anything gets another season these days. Still F tier. Monsters. Apart from Re-Monster, which we'll get to later, it's somehow a prequel to One Piece? A tier? Buchigiri. Another action series made by MAPPA, but haven't seen. Banished from the Heroes Party Season 2. Still as decent and completely forgettable as the last season, D tier. Classroom of the Elite Season 3. Had a lot of hype and a few decent moments, not to mention lore, but ultimately didn't deliver. It just came across the wire that there's going to be a Season 4, still B tier. Blue Exorcist. A pretty long-standing series to still be airing 13 years later. Then again, we've seen it before, but I haven't seen this one. Worth noting, it has another season airing in the fall, but doesn't make it on the list as it's too unpopular. Pon no Michi. A very standard mahjong slice-of-life series, haven't seen it. Gushing over magical girls. As incredibly weird as it is, as incredibly wrong as it is, as downright sadistic as it is, I'm gonna give it a B tier. Great Pretender the sequel. Yes, I know it's an hour and a half long and 1 episode, but still, it's under ONA format. I guess they're lucky I didn't notice, but haven't seen it. The Demon Prince of Momochi House. Quite possibly the worst copy yet of Kami-sama Kiss, F tier. My instant death ability is overpowered. I mean, it says it in the title. When are people going to admit the trope's getting old? F tier? The Weakest Tamer began a journey to pick up trash. Wow, thanks for spoiling the series. If not for actual good content, this would totally be F tier. B tier. The Unwanted Undead Adventurer. Sadly again, haven't seen it. The Dangers in My Heart Season 2. A show so many people wrote off because of a very odd main guy. In all fairness, he did change, that's normally what you'd hope for from a good romance. If you've actually seen it, you'll know why I'm rating it this highly. S tier. Hokkaido Girls are super adorable. It's basically another series of Our Dating Story, another show that most people have already forgotten at this point. At least this show picks its battles better on what to emphasize. C tier. The Strongest Tanks Labyrinth Raids. Please trust me on this if you haven't seen it, F tier. Delicious in Dungeon, a 2-core journey type series that hits just a notch lower than Frieren and got a second season, S tier. Metallic Rogue, a cyberpunk buddy cop show that tried way too hard to actually be good. Let's stick to cyberpunk edgerunners, F tier. The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic. Decent fantasy action, good enough for a second season, I'll say B tier. High Card Season 2. Almost no one's seen it, including me. Next. 'Tis Time for Torture Princess. Another show with inanimate objects being main characters, weirdly nothing new, but as for the show itself, its premise keeps it afloat. Low C tier. Chain Soldier. Just an all-around disappointing series with minimal quality to back it up. I'm really trying to find a reason to put this in D, but I can't. You want to say it's because of the ecchi, but there's so many more things to blame. F tier. Dr. Elise. Somehow even more uninspiring of a series and an even greater waste of time. I'm sorry to those who enjoyed it, but it's just a show about a girl proving she's a good doctor to stuffy nobles. Sure, she's alright, but makes everyone else look either incompetent or irrelevant by comparison. F tier. Tales of Wedding Rings. Don't be fooled, it's nothing more than a failed harem anime. F tier. Mr. Villain's Day Off. Cute, simple, not trying to do anything special. C tier. Urusei Yatsura Season 3, and technically Season 4, it may not be the perfect series, and it may be super weird with a lot of slapstick nonsense, but at the end of the day, it was done pretty well, plus the OPs and EDs were amazing. High B tier. Mashley Season 2. Yes, I'm finally talking about it. It was good, no doubt. Quality series? Definitely. But what about Creepy Nuts, man? There's something special. I mean, hit after hit, they know what they're doing. It may not be an S, but good job, A tier. Cherry Magic. And if you don't mind, I think I won't say the full title out loud. It's BL through and through, which I haven't seen, but for the sake of all those that have, B tier. My Happy Marriage OVA, and Sengoku Yoko. I'll skip to the point, I haven't seen either. Bottom Tier Character Season 2. It's certainly not the best series, but it also isn't the worst. The main guy who tries less to be like a loner practically spends all season picking a girlfriend like it's a dating sim. Again, it's not the worst content, and certainly not the most heartfelt, but I guess it's something. D Tier. Ninja Kamui. Better known as the action series everyone liked, then loved, then hated, all in the span of 3 months. F tier. Ishura. Haven't seen, sorry to skip so quickly. Fluffy Paradise. Just another forgettable fantasy series premiering a 3-year-old? D tier. The Witch and the Beast. Haven't seen, but might be worth a watch. The Foolish Angel Dances with the Devil. I seriously hope I don't have to be your parent to tell you, stop watching weird anime, because this is quite literally a prime example. D tier. Moonlit Fantasy Season 2. A show that doesn't break any new ground, but comes across more than not fairly well-rounded. Given JC Staff made it, and it's not romance, this might be groundbreaking in and of itself. B tier, I guess? 7th Time Loop. I'm proud to say it's not for me. Haven't seen it. Yes, this means I'm ending winter with a divisive one. To everyone thinking this is a slam dunk S tier, it's not. In fact, it's barely an A tier, and yes, I have seen it. Not only that, I've reacted to it. Simply put, it's a low A tier. Shika, shika. Shika, shika. Alright, we have a new season, a clean slate, starting with the 7th Prince Reincarnation anime. Is it generic? Yes. Are there some cool moments with good animation? Yes. Does that save the show? That's more for you to decide. C tier. P.S. There's a lot more I could say about the show, but I'm trying to hold back. Sound Euphonium Season 3. A great and very humanizing series that no one watched. S tier though. Bartender Glass of God. What seems like a remake of a 2006 show called Bartender, neither one though I have seen. Vampire Dormitory. This one was, really not that easy to watch. Unlike most, I actually did finish it, and I'm sorry to say it does not get better. F tier. Viral Hit. Something that got the attention of many action fans, surprisingly. It could be the webtoon aspect. It could also be the tangential relationship to lookism that leads to clicks. Either way, it's nuanced, it works, and it's a low C tier. The Many Sides of Voice Actor Radio. Not bad, but also not much substance. D tier. That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, Season 3. Just a few spring shows still airing. No, I know it, I'll get to you later. As for this one, it's good, but maybe not as good as other seasons, granted I haven't seen the ending. B tier. Chillin' in Another World. I think what stands out most is probably the intro, which feels like a special outro, but I could be wrong. Regardless, it's cookie-cutter material with very little to show for at the end. Honestly, F tier. Re-Monster. I'm afraid it's another isekai, one I haven't seen though. Mission Yozakura Family, a double-length series all about spies and espionage. I'm proud to say it's a genuinely good show with a few subpar episodes thrown in. That's enough for C tier though. The banished former hero lives as he pleases. For those with eyes, that's an easy F. Oh, Whisper Me a Love Song, What Will I Do With You? You're technically still airing with no new episodes and haven't been for months. Thank God first episode confessions exist. D tier. Black Butler in 2024. Never thought I'd see the day, and there's already a sequel. Huh. Well, I can't say I've watched it. My Hero Season 7. It's always a tough one to talk about because it was actually a respectable show at one point. At one point! But now, it's low, but I'll give it a B? Blue Archive, the animation. It is what it sounds like. They took a video game and made it into a show, kind of like Danganronpa. Same as Train to the End of the World, I haven't seen it. Spice and Wolf 2024. For those that don't know, this was a remake. Now, is it a good one? I'm reacting to it, and let's just say I've seen better. It's not awful, but it really feels stuck in 2009 with the art and the same story. C tier. The Misfit of Demon King Academy Season 2, Core 2. I swear this show gets more unrecognizable with each episode. It sank all the way to F tier. Go Go Loser Ranger. Now if that's not a reference to Power Rangers, I don't know what is. By how I'm talking, hopefully you can reasonably assume I haven't seen the show. Liar Liar. Very comfortable F tier, not much else worth noting. Girls Band Cry. Basically Bocchi the Rock in good CGI. S tier. Laid Back Camp Season 3. Maybe not as good as the other seasons, but still respectable. A tier. Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night. A diet version of Girls Band Cry. This might be a season for music. A high B tier. Jobless Reincarnation Season 2 Part 2. Thankfully, we got a lot more stuff to chew on as viewers, which almost motivates me for Season 3. S tier. An Arc Demon's Dilemma. Overall, fine. It's not terribly special, but not offensive either. It's a fine story with poor writing and even worse direction, hence D tier. Windbreaker. Yeah, this show features a lot of fist fighting, which action fans just eat up. Outside of that, does it have legs to stand on? B tier? Oblivious Battery. This time's a sports anime from MAPPA. Seeing as I'm not into sports, this wasn't a show for me. Studio apartment, good lighting, Angel included. AKA, weird show, dumb moments, and characters that don't even try to make me care for them. F tier. A Salad Bowl of Eccentrics. The name's kind of eye-catching. The idea's even there, given it's a reverse isekai in a way, but it feels hampered. Like it could be better if it took itself more seriously? I could be wrong, but I'll give it a C. The Irregular at Magic High School Season 3. Yeah, I haven't seen it. Neither did I see the Grimm Variations. Kind of weird since I did watch Mysterious Disappearances, which turned out interesting? Not good, not bad, just interesting. The ending kinda saved it, but also didn't. Not many low-level shows commit to an ending like that, so D tier. The Duke of Death and His Maid Season 3. A rare JC Staff W when it comes to romance. Now I had high hopes coming into the season, even though almost no one else saw the show. A tier. Kaiju number 8. A very strong action series. If you've seen it, you know this is going to be S tier. Demon Slayer Training Arc. I'm actually not going to nitpick because I didn't see it. Just for the fun of it, if I had to rate it, which I am, I'm going to give it an A tier. Konosuba Season 3. I'm happy to say with a smile on my face, it's still S material. Grandpa and Grandma Turn Young Again. Yeah, we're getting weird. If nothing else, it's a change of pace from everything else airing. For their age, it's an oddly romantic slice of life. C tier. Unnamed Memory. At the time it aired, I seriously couldn't stand it and gave up watching it for a while. Coming back 2 months later just to finish it, I do have some regrets. F tier. A Condition Called Love. I know I rated it in the past, but looking back, it just did not get any better. I'm honestly struggling to keep it at a D. The show really achieved next to nothing in those 12 episodes. I'm going F tier. As a reincarnated aristocrat, blah blah blah, it's just another copy and paste. D tier. The Fable. Now this is my fun, trashy, unknown show of the season, and oh my god, did it deliver. Now the art's terrible, no denying that, but the story and suspense makes it all worth it. Easy C tier. Ending with one I haven't seen, The New Gate, doesn't really matter, it's isekai garbage, F tier. Shika, shika. Shika, shika. Alright, we got to the current season, at least the current season of me writing this. From what I've seen, it's either really good or really forgettable, and there's just not much in between. We'll start off with a heater, Oshinoko Season 2. A show I really doubted the quality of. I believed Episode 1 was the best there was, and everything past it would be overshadowed, no exceptions. At least that's what I thought until I got deeper into Season 2. It's a show that slowly develops itself, but in very calculated ways. Each episode kind of enhances characters individually, with the main story knowing when to be in the forefront and when to really be secondary. Completely S tier. Isekai Suicide Squad. Surprisingly, not even the worst example of slapping an IP on anime for views. That belongs to Rick and Morty. Still, it's an F. Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. This might be a controversial take, but I do not think it's an amazing series. I think it's okay. I think it plays things extremely safe, coasting on a premise the plot somewhat rarely leans on. But to be fair, it isn't offensive in any way, and for that I'll give it a B. 2.5D Seduction. JC Staff was really feeling it on this one. It's again very average with a few weak episodes. I know it's constantly compared to My Dress Up Darling, and for good reason. D tier. Mayanaka Punch, otherwise known as watching a series on YouTubing. D tier. My Dear Friend Nokotan. Watching this show is like playing Russian roulette with comedy. Each episode you have a chance to get hit with laughter. B tier. The Magical Girl and the Evil Lieutenant used to be archenemies. I feel like it's a show nobody even knows. It started a week later, it's a TV short, it's technically a Magical Girl series but doesn't act like it. It's honestly very similar to Love After World Domination. It's just as cute, just as funny, so I'll have to give it a C tier. Dead Demons Destruction. From what I hear, it's really good. Unfortunately, I have not seen it, but I do recommend it off rip. The Elusive Samurai. If you're looking for an underrated, pretty decent action series with great art, this might be what you're looking for. B tier. Too Many Losing Heroines. Talk about underrated, this show may have started 2 weeks late, but it's seriously pretty good. If you do need a comparison, think of it like Orisuki, but a lot better. A tier. Pseudo Harem. Overall, it's a very mediocre show with cute moments, but no true direction. Again, it's not a real harem, it goes around that idea and tries to fake be a harem. It's a C tier. Tower of God Season 2. Really nothing that eclipses Season 1, if anything it might be a little lower than Season 1, it's a D tier. The Osan Newbie Adventurer. Long name, enjoyably generic, D tier. The Cafe Terrace Season 2. I was 100% right, it's not much better than Season 1, therefore C tier. Failure Frame. Failure of a series, F tier. The Strongest Magician's right there with them. A Journey Through Another World. Yes, it is as bad as it looks, F tier. Actually, I Parry Everything, it really was that forgettable, it's also F tier. Senpai is an Otokonoko. I'll translate that for anyone unaware. Senpai is a crossdresser. Now, if you give it a chance and or like that stuff, it might be a notch below Wandering Sun, but it's not bad. Low C tier. Nair Nair Cheer For You. It's your typical all-female sports anime. Did not see it. Dahlia in Bloom. Honestly, just empty calories, not worth going into. F tier. This one's gonna be a 2-for-1 deal, Monogatari and From Me to You Season 3. Both easily deserving of S tier. I can't recommend them enough, even though they're both far from the first season. From Me to You took 13 years to release, but it was really worth it. Anyways, it's a high bar for any future OVAs this year. Plus Sized Elf. Yeah, another piece of trash nobody watches or really has any need to watch. I guess aside from the ecchi part. It's so F tier. VTuber Legend. It's average, not that great, not that bad. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I'd almost be offended if you thought I watched this. Haven't seen it. No Longer Allowed in Another World. I was actually proud how well it used its quirky morbidness to mask all the less than stellar episodes. D tier. Twilight Out of Focus. Yes, it's a BL series. To be clear, it's definitely not Sasaki and Miyano level quality, but it's at least acceptable. C tier. Quality Assurance in Another World. The name's stupid and the show's not much better. F tier. Delico's Nursery. I know very little about it besides it's based on a stage play named Trump, which I have to laugh at as an American. Haven't seen it. Why does nobody remember me in this world? It may not be an isekai, but it is a trashy fantasy series. F tier. Fairy Tail: A 100-Year Quest. I know I thought very little of this back a few months ago, guessing it probably wouldn't do as well as the past, but I was mistaken. It's actually exceeded how good every other season's done till now. B tier. Days with My Stepsister. The show everyone wanted to hate going into it, but ultimately really couldn't. It wasn't incredible, but it was definitely introspective enough to come across positively for the most part. Now that the season's almost over, as of writing this, I'd probably stick it with C tier. Atri. This one reminds me of Plastic Memories, so I can't complain too much. It's such a hard show to read because at times it really does take itself seriously, and other times it's really just cute and a little bit funny. Realistically, I'd probably give it a D. Code Geass. Yes, in 2024, I haven't seen it, and the ratings are nothing like the original. A nobody's way up to an exploration hero. Can we just put this on the record that the source material is ecchi? No, I haven't seen the show, but if it's anything like the light novel, given how young the children in this show look, I got a lot of questions for those watching. My Wife Has No Emotion. This one's competing in terms of sad relationships with Rent a Girlfriend. That's how you know when to stop watching. F tier. Love is Indivisible by Twins. Let me explain this. Two twin teenage girls fighting over the same nerd, but also letting each of them take turns with him? It's really weird and pretty poorly written. F tier. Nair Aramata Core 2. Another show I didn't watch. At least some people seem to like it though. Wistoria. This is your decent, semi-popular fantasy action series. So, B tier. Shoshimen How to Become Ordinary. If that title doesn't speak for itself, I don't know what does. Wait, it is similar to Hyoka. I think I can move it from D to C tier. Bye Bye Earth. All you need to know is it's less than not special. Easy F tier. Our Last Crusade Season 2. Originally meant for 2023, now mid to late 2024, and it's still airing? Kind of. It is, but no new episodes have air dates. It might be like Zom 100 for a while. Get this, it was delayed to maintain series quality. Yeah, not a good look for all studios involved. But what about the episodes that did air? Yeah, they were not worth waiting 4 years. F tier. Shika, shika. Shika, shika. Here's where we get into speculation, and no, this won't be perfect, but I don't expect it to be. Just like Bob Ross, maybe I'll end up with a few happy accidents. Arifureta Season 3. Why this has 16 episodes, I have no clue. I would have said I wouldn't have watched it, but out of fairness for a season I didn't see, I'll give it a C tier. Bleach 1000 Year War. Part 2, which came out last year, did incredible, so it's not hard to assume this would do just as well. Bold, but I'm going S tier. Sword Art Online Alternative. I gotta say SAO's track record doesn't give me the most confidence. It's pretty obvious what it's capable of, so I'll just go D tier. Blue Box. It's actually a sports romance. I've got no clue what to make of it, so I'll play it safe and give it a C tier. Uzumaki, a seemingly cool horror series, but there's a few things I worry about. Number 1, Adult Swim worked on it. Sorry to say, they're not the best when it comes to making anime, and there's no shortage of examples. Number 2, the manga's super old. I'm not talking 2010 or anything, it started in 1998. Now, out of fairness, it has good ratings. Whether that translates to anime is very unclear, also C tier. Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon Season 5? This series really came a long way from what it once was. If I'm to believe in the trend this show's going, I gotta give it a B. Blue Lock Season 2. I know there's a lot of hype for this. It's really the go-to sports anime aside from maybe Haikyuu. A tier. Shangri-La Frontier Season 2. I've got full faith in the series. Yep, another A tier. Spirit Chronicles Season 2. It's another bland action isekai, but given Season 1 was somewhat okay, I'll go D tier. Dan to Dan. So for those that don't know, I've reacted to it already. Yeah, it's controversial given it was a leak, but I am glad to say, without diving into spoilers, it sits comfortably in S tier. Re:Zero Season 3. I've never personally been a big fan of the show. I know it's good, but I never got into it. Still, I've seen both seasons in full, and it looks like season 3 will add more world building, which the show is very much known for. I actually haven't seen it. Nonetheless, I still have high hopes, and I'll give it an S tier. Really, thanks for watching. I 100% plan on doing more tier lists in the future. Maybe one day I'll actually learn and not do one this long, but who knows. Also, just to note, I didn't completely watch every series I tier listed, but you know what? It is what it is. Hopefully it's okay. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the year-long tier list, and I'll see you next time.